Hello guys, what is up? Today I will be making a video about division. If you do not yet know how to divide, it's gonna be simple division. Not gonna go into the fractions, not so much. So let's get started. First, division. Division is the. You need to know one thing. Division is the opposite of multiplication, just like addition is the opposite of subtraction. Because you subtract if you for division, if you want to check your answer, you subtract the number that your answer from the number on the bottom. And multiplication is the same thing with division, but let's get into division. So let's say you have a number, you have three people. You have three people. No. Let's say you have let's say you have 9 people. So you have 9 people. 9 9 people. People. Okay, I don't know if I spelled that right. 9 people. So you have 9 people, and you have 18 apples, let's say. And you have 18 apples. You would, how many apples does each person get if you want to divide them equally? Not by meaning equally, you're not going to say one person gets 2 apples and then one person and then another person gets 5. You want them to be equal. So that means 9 times something has to get you to 18, or 18 divided by 9. So if you think about it, what's 9 times what? 9 times question what gives you 9 times what gives you 18. You can solve this by dividing 18 by 9, or you can just multiply. Or let's say what's 9 times 1? 9 times 1 is 9, so that doesn't give you 18. What's 9 times 2? It's 9 times 2 would be 18. So if you kept on going like that, you'd eventually get the answer. So 2 would be your answer. Each person would get 2 apples. Each person will get 2 apples. Okay, so that's how you do it one way. Another way is, let's say, you can make this. If you have 9, you divide 18 by 9, right? How you can write that down is you can write it this 2 ways. 18 divided by 9 equals something. Or you can write 18 divided by 9 this way. And I'll explain that a little bit. Okay, so you have your divisor and your dividend and your quotient. What your divisor is what you divide by. So it's an easy way to remember. Divisor, divide by. So this would be what you're dividing it by. Dividing 9 people by 18 apples. So the 18, this would be your dividend. And how I remember it is I don't know how to spell it. So dividend, so that would be your dividend. How I remember it is like a den. A den is like a home. It's like a little den, like a den. So it's in like a little house. The 18 is like in a house surrounded by this. So the 18 is surrounded by the little this thing is surrounded by that, and that is is like a house for the 18, so you can think of it as a dividend. So this is the dividend, and then you would have your quotient. But how would you get your quotient? The quotient is the answer for a division problem. So the definition of a quotient is an answer for the division problem. But how would you get the answer for the division problem? You would solve it by, let's see, how many times does 9 go into 1? It doesn't. So you would just write a 0 here. You'd write a 0, and it has try to line it up. Try to line the 0 with the 1, and then you would have a remainder of 1, because 0, so you would get 0, so you'd subtract 1 minus 0, and that would give you 1, and then you would have 8, so you would add an 8 here. 8 down here, put the line there, so you don't lose your place, put the 8 there. So now you have 18 divided by 9. Same thing, but that's how you do it for harder problems. So 18 divided by 9 we said was 2, so it would be 2. So our answer would be 2. But now let's say we have a harder problem, like let's say we have 10, that's too easy. 16 people in a classroom. Okay? You need to know your multiplication for the 16 people in a classroom. And your teacher brings in, let's say 192 donuts for each of you. 192 donuts, like a class party. So she brings in 192 donuts, and she wants you to figure out, he or she wants you to figure out how many everybody has, so everybody can get. So you divide 16 would be your divisor, because that's what you're dividing 192 by, and then that 192 would be your dividend. Your quotient would be, how you would solve this, is that you would get 16, and let's say, how many times does it go into 0? None, so you would just go to the next number. You would go to the next number, 9. So how many times does it go to 19? 16 goes into 19 once, so you can just write you can just write a 1 here, get a different color. So 16 divided over 19 would get you 1, and then you write the 16 down here. So now you have your 19, now you should take this into a subtraction problem, and now you have 19 minus 16, which gives you 3. Now you have your 16, now you have the 3 here. So we take the next number in line, which will not be the 9, because we already used the 9 to subtract 16. Now we'll take the 2, and we'll line it up with a 3, and we'll put 32. So now how many times does 16 go into 32? Well, let's just guess and check. Let's say 2. So it's 2 times. Let's multiply 16 times 2, and we do get 32. So 32 would be our answer. But you don't write 32 here on top. You would write it 32 here on the bottom. 32. And then you subtract this like we did with the 19 minus 16. You subtract this and you would get 0. So your answer would be, because you multiplied it twice, your answer would not be this. It would not be 0, it would be 2. So that wouldn't be your answer, but you would add it to the 1. So your answer would be 2 because you multiplied it by 2. So let's put the 2 up here. And so this would be your answer. Everything that's up top, your quotient is this. Your quotient is on top. I don't know if I spelled it right, but I know I don't. I'm not that good of a brilliant speller. So your quotient would be 12. So that would be your answer. So if you want to check it, you can multiply your quotient by your divisor. So 12 times 16, that would give you 2, and then you would have a 1 up here, so 6. So you get 7, 72, and then you would get 12, do it like that, 2, 92, and you'd get the same answer. So this is the same answer as this. If you multiply your quotient by your divisor, you'll get your dividend. So that's how you check it. If you don't get your dividend, then that means you got something wrong. So now let's say you have a remainder, which means if, so that means if it doesn't go in equally. So let's say you have 9 people, but you have 10 apples. You would have a remainder of 1 because you can't give, you won't give like a little slight piece of an apple to a person. So you would just have a remainder. So let's do it. You have 9 people, 10 apples. How many times does 9 go into 10? Once. So you put the 1 up there. 9 below, subtract 10 minus 9, you'd get 1. But you don't have any more numbers. So you can just say with the remainder of 1, you can just put the R1. Or I like to make it in a fraction, but you guys probably don't know fractions yet. So you can just, for now, we're just going to put R1 because we have 1 remaining. So if you had a fraction, you would have done 1 ninth, 1 and 1 ninths. So each person would get 1 and 1 ninths of an apple. But we're not going to get into that, so yeah. Now let's do some more examples just so you get the hang of it. Okay. Let's say you have 18 divided by 360. You would see how many times 18 goes into 3. See, it doesn't. So you would go to the next number. 18, how many times does it go into 36? 2 times, so you put the 2 up on the top. And you get 36. Subtract. Get 0. Put the 0 down. How many times does 18 go into 0? It doesn't. So you put the 0 up here. And your answer would be 20. So I think that covers it. Hope this video helped you. Please subscribe and thank you for watching.